This is his AI, I guess, that they used to make. This is, I guess this is Bill Maher as the Phantom of the Opera with his mask taken off. What the fuck is with his face? That's super weird. And then this is supposed to be Megyn Kelly, although it looks like Laura Ingraham, eating a piece of pizza. Bill Maher and Megyn Kelly ignore Pizzagate facts, would be the thing in this. Also, she's actually eating a piece of pizza. The idea is that if pizza is an analogy for something other than pizza, then real pizza being present in the argument undermines that. Also, there is almost no situation where you have lots of kids around and people aren't ordering pizza, period. So it's easy to, I guess that's why a pedophile would use that as a cover phrase, because it fits so well with how most normal people talk about gatherings of kids. We'll order some pizzas. They'll be fine. We're going to have pizza and everybody and hot dogs and stuff like that because it's 4th of July and all that. Like all that talk, it can become an instant conspiracy theory, or it can become perfect cover because of the normalcy of it. And you can't talk about the Pizzagate stuff and the pizza analogies that show up in some of these documents or allegedly show up in these documents if you don't point to the fact that that's because that's how normal people talk about fucking kids being around. If you're throwing a kids party or you've got like a friend, your kid's got friends over, you're going to order a pizza for them. Like it's that kind of normal, which is why it works as a code. Not that everybody who talks about it is part of that. And that's the hang up in this. I have no idea there was going to be an ad.
Listen up, men.
Nope.
If you're having trouble
I'm not putting that in the tip of my. I'm not going to do it. It looks like it'll sting.
Stop what you're doing right now.
I'm going to keep doing it.
This because nobody told me there's up to $40,000 as a burial benefit.
Yeah, but that's only if you're toxic.
My general feeling is that people who believe in Pizzagate hate that interview, and I'm not one of the people who believes in Pizzagate at all. So I can't defend one particular exchange that I don't remember the whole interview.
That's got a sting.
I just know I interviewed him, and I did not believe and do not believe that Hillary Clinton and John Podesta are running a child sex trafficking ring out of Comet Pizza. No.
It's in the...
First of all, it's Comet Ping Pong. The pizza is ancillary. Now, why isn't ping pong part of the code? I don't know. Why isn't it Ping Pong Gate?
WikiLeaks delivering 7, 9, and 11-year-old kids, girls, for John Podesta's pleasure in a hot tub in a secluded facility in northern New York.
So it's a very specific place. And so this could be a pool party at the house where they serve pizza because there's lots of kids over.
Upstate New York. And all the...
Well, okay, thank you for clarifying.
This other garbage. It just goes on hours of it just to read the emails, okay? His brother does full magazine spreads in the Washington Post 2007 about pedophilia and how great it is, okay? With the images of kids being tortured and raped, okay?
Wow, that's a really weird article. Does that exist? Not that I want to look at it, but so who did this? Wait, the Washington Times or the Post?
Okay. His brother does full magazine spreads in the Washington Post 2007.
Sorry, there are full magazine spreads in the Washington Post about how awesome pedophilia is. That would be breaking news. Hold on. Chat room, if I may. Let's see. Washington Post, Podesta. I don't even know how to fucking look this article. Pedophilia. Commits to involving people at the highest level during enterprise are operating out of Washington Pizza. Okay, this is New York Times, Washington Post. Chrissy Teigen fights back after Twitter used to drag her name. Mother, why are right-wing conspiracy so obsessed with it? Podesta calls Pizzagate. Okay, painful and crazy. Trump has made a safe zone for fact-free discourse. Clinton, okay. Maybe this is it. Editorial board. No, Trump has made a safe zone for fact-free discourse, and Pizzagate proves it. Shot of Comet Ping Pong as Temple fake news. And crackpots who peddle this stuff include Michael Flynn. And, you're right. Infection spread down the block, literally to neighboring shops and businesses that have also received threats for their supposed involvement in child sexual abuse. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with no. There aren't giant magazine spreads in the fucking Washington Post about how awesome pedophilia is. I would, that whole thing about extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Go for it. What the fuck? Hold on. Play, stupid. It doesn't want to. That's weird. Is it stuck? All right, now I got to reload the fucking thing. It's the deep state. Deep state's attacking me. They don't want me to play the video. They want it to. They're trying to hide everything. They're trying to.
But about pedophilia and how great it is. Okay, with the images of kids being tortured and raped. Okay.
Okay.
Cartoon images of it, paintings of it. You've seen it a million times.
No, I have not.
The New York Times and CNN, they focus, again, I know most of you know this, but for those who don't.
By the way,
on Comet Ping Pong, they had a bunch of events and a bunch of weird art and weird stuff, but where we can't prove what's going on, to then say, oh, none of it's real because of that
Super
place.
Weird.
Oh, none of it's real in the whole world,
hold on.
all because the story they planted on 4chan and 8chan was a distraction.
Okay, there you go. I'm going to reload the page from the original link. Sorry about that, guys. Because what the shit? Scroll back. Yeah, here it is. This business. Quit it. Link. There you go. Now I gotta watch this stupid ad again. God damn it. I gotta. Yay! Guys, put this thing in your end of your pee-pee.
My
and it won't.
2026. Chuck Norris, the best commercial of the year.
This is Kathy. Kathy is 62 years old and used to have some.
The Washington Post 2007 about pedophilia and how great it is, okay?
No, not okay. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and it is just silly.
With the images of kids being tortured and raped, okay?
Okay, yeah. Regular, yeah, some people call that an expose of horrific child sexual abuse. We call it the Sunday funnies.
Cartoon images of it.
Yeah, these kids being tortured in this little family that lives in a circle, and the parents are sometimes mean to the kids and make them do chores. Clearly a sign of...
You've seen it a million times.
Oh, God.
The New York Times and CNN, they focus, again, I know most of you know this, but for those who don't, on Comet Ping Pong, where they had a bunch of events and a bunch of weird art and weird stuff, but where we can't prove what's going on, to then say, oh, none of it's real because of that place. Oh, none of it's real in the whole world, all because
the central focal point that where it was taking place in the basement was in a place that doesn't have a fucking basement.
Story they planted on 4chan and 8chan was a distraction.
Also, by the way, you do realize this fucking code was not in the emails. This is even a list of people searching for this list that somebody made up and said this is what it stands for.
From all the real stuff.
Hold on.
And the FBI files and all of it. So that's the game they play. She's a lawyer. She knows what she's doing.
I apologized to QAnon a couple of weeks ago. I said, when it comes to this Epstein stuff, you had it righter than me. Now, they also believe a lot of real batshit nonsense. But when
now you think it's batshit,
They don't eat babies. Democrats don't eat babies. You think they eat babies?
They just abort them in mass and sexual...
Sorry. Wow, Lauren Boebert's voice is really wrecked. Maybe she needs to find something that could sort of moisturize the inside of her throat. I'm sorry.
And euthanize them.
I don't know. No, you can laugh all
Yes,
you want. But, there is some sick stuff in here that is implying...
But that's not eating babies.
Maybe,
come on.
I'm not saying they're eating babies. I'm saying there is talk of consumption, and it ain't pizza. And I'm not saying that I am QAnon by any means, but this is deep, dark, satanic, awful, sacrificial, and this stuff is gross.
See, this is what I'm saying. Here I am sacrificing myself, saying, you know what, I was wrong, QAnon, and then you don't meet me halfway.
All right, this is, I don't know why he has kind
Friday night
Euro trash dance music as his break.
I got Megyn Kelly saying there's no way Democrats are eating babies.
This is true. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. She in nowhere, in your defense, she in no way says that Republicans aren't eating babies. So, maybe she's leaving that door open, considering what's left in the Epstein files.
We have all these other people just saying they don't believe it. But you do believe they're raping kids now, not just 14.
Yeah. Well, the idea is, yes, that pedophilia exists, but this gets into like satanic panic, territory.
Girls, not just underage. Oh, you do believe all this other stuff, but not that. But
yes, because that's an order of magnitude fucking weirder. And it requires a buy-in from the people involved that is beyond the psychopathic. So even if members of that group were involved in that thing, they aren't spreading it to the rest of the group, lest the rest of that group who are engaged in truly awful things think that's a bridge too far.
Before you didn't believe that.
No, we all believed in like Epstein and people like that. I just don't think they control our government the way you say they do. And any more than I believe that, Hillary has fucking Parkinson's that just magically went into fucking remission.
I'm going to explain something. They've dug up archaeological sites
where there's a person and a female, and she's got a whole baby inside her that she clearly ate. Now, some asshole archaeologist will tell you that that's a pregnant woman who drowned or was consumed by lava or, died in a snowbank. But we all know well that most women can swallow a baby whole, and they have a special chamber for holding the baby carcass.
In Africa, Europe, the Middle East, Asia.
Parts of Birmingham.
The British Isles, Albion, under its ancient name. And they've dug up pyramid complexes all over the United States with mass human sacrifice remains. There was Aztec-type culture all over the U.S., the East Coast, you name it.
Right, but it kind of died out with the television, I think, at least. You know what I mean? Like, once people had, once the Nintendo showed up, I mean, it really cut into the whole baby eating because you're bored economy, I think.
West Coast.
East Coast, yo.
They've dug it up all over Germany, all over France, the exact same stuff they just dug up in Carthage.
Right, but there's no modern stuff. Like a long time. Look, I get archaeologically speaking, people did some wild shit back when people were just banging rocks together. But I'm just saying, did it die out 3,000 years ago and then suddenly make a resurgence somewhere in the mid-60s?
Tens of thousands of children, just what they found, killed while they were alive, because they can tell by the archaeology, burned alive to Moloch. So, and that's what the Romans wrote in their history. That was one of the reasons they went in and took them over. And people said, oh, that was an exaggeration of the Romans. Now they know it was not an exaggeration. And it wasn't.
So the Romans picked it up and the Catholic Church carried it forward, and then they taught it to everybody else, and the Bohemian Grove happened. So they were basically just helping carry child eating. Also, did they burn the baby at sacrifice, or did they eat the good parts and then burn what was left? Was it really just getting rid of evidence, or was it... I'm, of course, being ridiculous because this guy's such an asshole.
It's the Carthaginians that were doing it.
Which you'll give you, I think smoking is Carthaginian.
And that's in North Africa, but Carthaginians were mainly Greek and Sicilian.
So this is an anti-Italian thing. So deep dish pizza, do you really know what's in there?
In their original bloodline. They've genetically tested the skeletons. So this goes on all over the place.
Yeah, but it stopped for thousands of years and then started up again. Again, why? Because they're like, hey, shit, that baby eating thing, that used to make people really rich.
Is the norm in the Bible.
Okay. Oh my God.
Abraham is told, stop human sacrifice.
And then Jesus came along and went, hold my splinter. because he was effectively the last human sacrifice. That's effectively, yeah, it's literally an act of human sacrifice and cannibalism. That, you know, eat of my blood and my body. Figuratively speaking.
Don't do it anymore. There's hundreds of verses. Do not give any of your children to be sacrificed to Moloch, for you must not profane the name of your God. I am the Lord.
He's just looking up multiple translations of it in case it can be read several different ways.
Do not permit any of your children to be offered.
Yeah, Leviticus is kind of fucked up. It also says you'll go to hell if you eat shrimp. So I don't know what to believe.
Sacrifice to Moloch.
Believe me, Alex Jones is eating some shrimp. If you're ever at dinner with him, I'm sure he'll eat all of it. You bring a plate to the table, it's gone.
For you must not bring shame on the name of your God. And that's
so burning a kid alive is the equivalent of taking the Lord's name in vain.
All over the Old Testament, okay? And
okay, does it show up in the New Testament? How about I don't know, history books in the modern era?
And everything where they talk about what's going on, they've dug up all this stuff, okay?
Okay. No, not okay. It's a huge leap from what primitive peoples used to do a long time ago, and the people who tried to stop them from fucking do it even back then, that it somehow made it through and it's still in practice today because it gives people magical riches and powers. Because the argument that Alex Jones is making is that we got to stop the baby eaters because that magic works. Look who the rich and powerful are. You have to eat a baby to be rich and powerful. It sounds like a sales pitch.
That's just one Bible verse. There's a whole bunch of them, okay?
Well, yeah, it's the same verse, a bunch of different ways. It's not all over the Bible. It's thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Moloch, and neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord. So he separates, the King James Bible separates
People say,
this.
oh, that's crazy. You know,
Hold on, no. The King James Version says this as two separate ideas. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Moloch. Means, I guess, no circle jerks around the bonfire. It's gross. And some of us are trying to get some sleep.
Just always, oh, nobody really kills people. Nobody reads blood. The entire Satanism, Aleister Crowley thing is about drinking people's bodily fluids, okay?
Well, I would guess you'd want to be a little more specific. Because I mean, maybe that's what Trump was doing with the golden showers thing in Russia. Maybe that's why he fears the video. Maybe it wasn't that he was doing it for sexual pleasure. Maybe he was drinking the bodily fluids from Moloch.
That's why Christ said, stop doing that. Have this wine as my...
Also, that they said that in Leviticus.
Blood. Have this bread as my body.
Yeah, don't really eat flesh and blood. Just allegorically eat me.
It was his point. I'm the last sacrifice. I give...
Yep, human sacrifice. That's right. We've been doing lamb for a long time. I am the lamb. I've been washed in the blood of the lamb, saith your regular congregation during the singing of the hymnals.
Self-willingly stop.
You ever notice they're hymnals and not hymnals? You ever think about that for a second? Think that's an accident?
That's why he said, I have come to not overturn the Old Testament,
but I did not come through fire, so...
to fulfill it. The two things go together like a horse and carriage. So a person that doesn't understand world history reads the Bible and says, this is gibberish.
Yeah, I don't think that's how it works at all. I think if somebody woke up and weren't aware of world history and they read it as a religious text, they might go, oh, this is how it is? Oh, that's interesting. They wouldn't go, I don't know, they misspelled the. They added an extra E. None of these sentences make any sense at all.
But if you know history and then you study all the archaeology they've discovered, it's all accurate.
Sure, but this is also Bronze Age tribal horseshit. So what the fuck does that have to do with a pizza place in D.C. where people take their families because they have families?
Extremely accurate. That's why people say, oh, the Bible.
or it was written 70 to 100 years after Christ was alive, and a lot of it was rewritten over time to incorporate stuff that had happened that they weren't aware of at the time, because it would go, well, how come there's no mention of this in there? You know, dinosaurs, I rest my case. But they had to go back and rewrite sections of it to make up for new bits of information that either wanted to be in there or stuff that fit in with, you know, tales they'd heard elsewhere.
It's literal, but then you'll have these mainline preachers. But the big wheels landing and spaceships flying around and giants and aliens breeding with humans, that's all metaphorical. No, it's not.
And these are the spawn of giants who are eating babies. And that brings me to Hillary Clinton, who is huge.
Noah wasn't perfect in his generation. He was a perfect person. Christ was the only person that was sinless, God in flesh. No, it's very clear the whole chapters before is that the sons of men came down from space, the heavens, and impregnated the daughters of humanity.
And since then, humans have been trying to reach those people again in the same way that, you know, those tribes made fake airplanes because the American flyboys landed there, and they made, you know, like these basically like airplanes out of skins and thatch and bamboo because they wanted them to come back. So we've been recreating this kind of shit to try and talk to the aliens that left a long time ago. Papa, can you hear me?
And made hybrids that were evil. And God saw that almost none of the genetics was good, so he wiped out the earth. And every culture tells the same thing.
It seems like a big reaction. I would think that, you know, there wouldn't be if God could do that, wouldn't he just, I mean, God sounds like a physical being, the way you describe it. Like he'd have to physically create a flood to wipe out their genetics instead of, if he was God, he would just snap his fingers like Thanos and they'd all drop dead. Isn't that sort of part of the whole God thing?
So
you're kind of arguing that God is like an alien, but he's like a middle manager who was put in charge of making sure there wasn't any bad genetic spread from his buddies fucking monkeys on the planet below. See, I'd read that book. That these and thys all in there. And come on.
The whole Bible's about God wiping out devil worshippers.
But never wiping out the devil. That seems rude.
Wiping out human alien hybrids. That's what it is. It's what it says.
Yeah, but then, so there aren't any. They're gone. They don't exist. You've been saying they have. So God, missed? He drowned most of the humans on the planet at the time, and he fucked up and left. He didn't get them? Like, fuck, some of them had gills. Why didn't I think of that? Shit, I got to do it over again with fire in another 3. What time is it? After lunch. When will that be? About 1 billion years. We live on God time.
And then now they're like, well, we've been given classified briefings on the 5 underwater alien bases. It's all coming out, folks. It's all coming out.
Wait, the hold on. All of it? They're all coming out. So the aliens are gay then. After that, I'm not worried. That seems fine. I mean, yeah.
We live in the age of discovery. We live in the age of revelation. We live in the age of the big reveal.
Which I guess revelation would be what that is. Sure. And when is this big reveal coming? After the Epstein files, or?
And there'll be disinformation and stuff mixed in there, and none of it's...
God can't handle that. He just kind of lets it slip through. We just got to deal with it. We just got to, it's an act of faith. We have to decide which aliens are real and which are just AI.
Going to be perfect, but buckle up, buckaroos, because as it was in the days of Noah, so will it be in the time of the coming of the Antichrist.
Yeah, but also no one shall know the hour nor the day of Christ's return, not even the Son, only the Father. Not even the Son or the angels, only the Father in heaven shall know. So even pretending to know that you're in this time is sacrilegious and almost guarantees that it's not the time. Because if you say you know, then you definitely don't. and it's definitely not now. You can actually stave it off by saying you think. That's interesting. Theologically speaking, you can actually stave off the second coming of Christ by saying it's going to happen now, because it can't. Otherwise, it will be against the scripture. If anybody, no one shall know. So if anybody goes, I know it's going to happen today, and it does, then the rest of it's bullshit. So if anybody goes, I think God's coming back today, like, well, we can't do it today. Maybe we'll try tomorrow.
And I don't know, that's 10 years from now or 100 years from now or next week.
Right, legally.
But the whole world could see the beast as a hologram. The whole world could worship the beast and see the signs and wonders of the beast. And the beast
as a hologram. Like, are we like Princess Leia? I mean, come on. Want to talk about your sexual awakenings?
Could heal the sick. And the beast could manifest.
Oh yeah,
That's matter. And the beast could call down fire from heaven. And
oh, so like Trump, basically. He can just bomb someplace. Is that what you're saying? So Trump is the Antichrist? I know he isn't. He's not nearly charming and good looking enough to pull the wool over the entire world's eyes. His poll numbers are too low. The Antichrist would have killer poll numbers.
They had to worship the beast and the beast system and take the mark of the beast in their forehead or hand as signs of fealty to follow the beast system. You don't just take the mark and then everything's fine. You have to serve the global social credit score.
Sorry, I didn't realize there was this much bureaucracy in the mark of the beast.
And all the updates.
Who are the record keepers for the beast? Does he have a team of accountants? Is it a digital database, or is it scrolled on some sort of stone with his fingernail, where he carves it out like it's got laser powers, and it's left there so he can look at it? There he is. There's his name, Greg Frengensen. He took the mark of the beast. I put it on my little stone. It's right there. And his sister, Glenn Frengensen. She's there, right there. Yeah, I put people in alphabetical order. Oh, he added too? Okay, shit. I'm going to have to scratch one of these out and start again. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to make it so the rock moves magically, and then I'm just going to move this down. And you know what? We should probably do this on computer, now that I'm thinking about it. This whole mark of the beast thing is, I'm just thinking we should probably use QR codes, you know? Because, I get an endless scroll made of skin, looks great, or a burning stone with everyone's name in it. It's great. It gives off a very lava lamp kind of in hell vibe. But it's just practically, if we have to make adjustments, because so what if somebody doesn't serve, whether they take the mark and then they don't serve, we got to move them off the rock, and then I got to scrub a whole side of the rock, or it's very complicated, this whole thing.
And they talk about the image of the beast being seen in all the capitals of the world.
Yes, apparently the beast is a tit, because all Capitol domes look like a big boobie. And it couldn't be the mama fixation that most guys like you have. You're like, I feel much better when I see a giant boobie. So much so that I put the giant boobies behind me.
And being described as like 50 to 100 feet tall, speaking to everyone. It's the big AI avatar. And it can be a...
Avatar? Is that like the show where ABBA is holograms?
Huge hologram, or it can be a huge robot body.
Or it could really be a beast that's kind of in the sky, kind of magically, and kind of a fantasy-based thing or whatever, instead of it just being an analogy for whatever technology you're wanting to shit on this week. I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved it when people thought the beast would be the automobile. There were people who thought the invention of the automobile was the Antichrist, because everyone would need a license plate. I'm not kidding.
And there are going to be 10 million of them walking around.
So, wait, so there's not one Antichrist, there's like trillions of them? Shit.
Possessed by the spirit of the beast, the AI.
I see. So the beast hallucinates answers to historically obvious questions, and it doesn't have web search capability yet. All right.
The whore of Revelations.
I know, I know he's trying to be dramatic, but this is really stupid. The whore, you mean the whore of Babylon that's in Revelations? Or there, I think there are lots of whores in Revelations. I mean, before the invention of penicillin, believe me, primitive men had a chip on their shoulder about whores.
Rides in on the dragon, rides in on the beast.
Oh, so like the car Trump has. Huh. You know, you might be making a point there.
The whore of Babylon rides him in.
Well, good for him. At least she knows what she's doing. I mean, you would think that a woman with that much experience. And by the way, that is no way to talk about Melonia.
The beast system. And
The beast system. Yeah, they do have more than one car.
It's a genetic injection you're given that basically takes over your genetics and turns you into a transhumanist creature.
Is that what I am now? Because I got the jab. I'm a transhuman. I remember when I was. Look, don't set me up for disappointment. Remember when we were supposed to be zombies? Do you guys remember that? There was a day when we were all going to turn into zombies. And I just. Sorry. I was really sad when that came and went, you know? And now we've got little hot beast injections.
That is the true final mark of the beast.
Final. It is the true final mark. Do they have? Is that like a fang mark? That's the last fang mark you're gonna get. Shit. Why does? I gotta make my pointer larger in this thing. I'll lose it to you. Sorry.
That basically takes over your genetics.
Mm-hmm.
And turns you into a transhumanist creature that is the true final mark of the beast.
The true final mark. Okay. It is. I was right. I thought it was final, but it's not. It's the true final mark of the beast. And you can tell when someone has gotten their final mark, their mark on them, is that they lose the ability to articulate simple words like final. That's how you know. Yeah.
I remember there was this little church, and they would meet at a hotel up in North Austin.
It's not really a church, is it? You mean cult?
What do they call that? Texas Best Seminars. And the guy was a preacher, but he was put on these Patriot seminars. What was his name?
I really don't remember because I try to avoid Ramada Inns in the northern Austin area for reasons I don't think I have to articulate to you or anyone in my audience.
I remember like 28, 29 years ago. What was that guy's name?
Make one up. Nobody gives a shit.
We're at dinner at some Denny's or something after the church service.
As you do.
Like at 10 at night. And we're all sitting around a big
drunk
booth. And I'm like, well, the mark of the beast is, a digital system to buy and sell to control every aspect of your life. When you call it social credit card, he goes, no, that's only part of it. He goes, I've been given a vision. You'll be given an injection that takes over your genetics and begins to make you where you can merge the machines and be transhumanist.
Wow. And here, like 28 years later, still wrong. Is it? Sorry, do you think it's going to be that simple? And it's going to happen soon? An injection that just makes... By the way, it's because I got a COVID vaccine that I can now merge with machines. Tell that to the AI I've been using to code some shit for my live stream, which gets a lot of stuff wrong.
He was, I continue to have this dream, this vision, that's what it's going to be. And I was like, wow.
Because you read like a couple of cyberpunk novels and shit sci-fi in the mid-70s?
This is just an old country boy. What was his name?
You absolutely can reverse a cavity, and I'm going to prove it to you.
Put a cork in it.
Drinking warm water before bed fixes...
Yeah, no. What was that guy's name? Shit. I owe him money, I think. He's still got those Polaroids of me on the trip. He's got Jeffrey Epstein. I can't remember.
Steve Quayle. right around that time was writing books saying the same thing. And he was being given, literally, God was saying, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to look like. This is what's going to
Yeah, and it didn't.
go on.
Yep, and it didn't.
Steve Quayle, you know, he's always very reactionary and very, very, right at the moment because he wants to get people awake. But when it comes to being the...
Also, it's a great way to snag an audience of sycophants and idiots who will continue to keep you full. It's very Jim Jones. You know, he talked about the end of the world all the time, too, because that's how you lock in your followers. Especially when your church is dwindled down to where you're meeting in a hotel room.
Trailblazer. I actually was thinking about Steve yesterday, today, because I saw a bunch of my books were in my office, his books, and I was cleaning them out in case we shut down next month, which is close.
Excellent.
Anytime the receiver is saying he may shut us down any day, maybe tomorrow. And I was flipping back through them, and I was just like, stuff he wrote like 30 years ago all came true.
No, it didn't.
It's wild. I mean, like,
no, it didn't.
We are all so vindicated, folks. It is absolutely crazy. So look at this. This was a post on X and links through the archaeological files. You can look at mainline archaeology findings just last year.
Oh, there's Steve Quayle, yes. Having me on his guest the past 2 decades, and thank you for your friendship before he disappeared.
Overhead shot right here, please.
Yes, I love that comic book. Barfi, the ancient god of indigestion, controls everyone. It was one of the weirder Stargate offshoots.
And this is the Carthaginians, a description from the Roman histories. They've now...
And you can't argue with their design choices.
Dug it all up and are able to read the stone tablets confirming it all. And here...
Yes, I'm sure these guys didn't blow up the shit they built. Didn't find that thing, though? So let me get this straight. They found a bunch of documents where these guys talked about the extraordinary society that they had and all the cool stuff they had and the giant belching behemoth automaton robot baby eater, the baby liquefier machine. But you didn't find that. They talked about the buildings. We had such great buildings. Oh my fucking God, you would not believe the amazing buildings we had. Where are they? Well, those are gone. The writings survived, but the buildings didn't. The writings survived, but the giant brass fucking belch god statue, nobody can find it. I don't know what the fuck happened to it. This is weird. This kind of goes to my point about oral traditions. This is where people learn to have oral traditions because nobody can test it against other things that have survived.
Are sacrificing children to the fires. They just open up like an oven and throw them in.
Yes, it's a great contraption. They're very proud of it. And it took them weeks to get it right. The first couple times, they just chucked the babies at them and they would bounce off the tits. And it was a big mess. And then they would try to do it again. And then there was sand and crying. It was so painful. And then finally, they really worked it out. Gary worked this out. He was one of the guys that did the initial prototype. And he built a smaller one to kind of show to everybody his plan. Nobody wanted to listen to him. And he would put little those little roly-poly bugs in it, and it would chuck them into the belly thing, and they're like, this one works. This is awesome. And so then they recreated the whole thing or whatever. At least that's what it says in the books. Nobody can find any version of this anywhere.
And it says, archaeological evidence reveals that ancient Carthaginian practiced child sacrifice on a scale previously dismissed as Roman propaganda. The Topet of Carthage, a sacred burial ground dating to 800 to 146 BC, contains thousands of urns filled with charred infants and child remains.
You mean they cremated their dead kids? Because they didn't want animals digging them up when they buried them? Because they hadn't quite figured out the whole casket and 6 feet underground thing, and the ground was too soft, and if you tried to dig a burial mound without building a building around it, you'd die in the process yourself. So they cremated people and put the ashes in an urn.
Excavations and bone analysis confirmed these weren't stillbirths or natural deaths. They weren't cremated while they were dead, but deliberate ritual killings performed during crisis periods and as offerings to the god Baal, you can also call him Moloch, Hammon, and Tanit.
Yeah, they were assholes. Also, what'd you do? Check their fucking lungs for soot? How the fuck do you know that they weren't natural deaths before they were burned? You're fucking out of your mind?
And then it goes on. Well, that's weird. It's different in German. I forget what Haman means. The practice called Moloch in Punic inscriptions, see, same name, targeted children from elite Carthaginian families. Parents offered their firstborn sons during military defeats, famines, or plagues, believing the sacrifice would restore divine favor. Inscriptions on...
Yeah, they were idiots.
Should have...
Did it? Wait. That's not the point. Whether these assholes did this or not is not the point. Did it work? Why would anybody recreate this bullshit in the modern era unless they believed the magic behind it? And if there's evidence that it worked, then maybe you might argue that people today are equally as stupid and would try it because basically human beings are new when they're born and need to be civilized. But it didn't work. They're gone. They got wiped out. So why would you recreate the magic or the sacrifices of a group of people whose tribe didn't survive? It's like using a Mayan wake-up clock, like an alarm based on the Mayan clock, because their timescape ended. They weren't great, or they thought they'd be around to do an update, like a hardware update to their clock.
Stones describe these offerings explicitly. Roman and Greek historians, including, it goes through them, documented the practice in horrifying detail, describing bronze statues with outstretched arms beneath which fires consumed living children, while drums drowned their screams. It goes on and on. It gets into all the DNA and who they were and what they were doing. So...
Oh, they have video of it.
That's the reality of this. And we've got all these emails, Jeffrey Epstein and the Rothschilds and people, most of it, a lot of it blacked out.
I say what you will about the Carthaginians, but they beat everybody else to the moving picture.
Saying it was really great hunting those people to death last night. Yeah, we killed a bunch of blacks. Call them N-words. And then in the 20s, in Europe, they had huge conferences in giant sports stadiums.
So basically, this bullshit story has been around for a long time. Like this wasn't recently uncovered. They made a movie in the 1930s about this shit.
Huge cost reenacting.
By the way, that those people are bad.
That's what right there. Human sacrifice of children. Sorry,
reenacting it. What movie is that from? That's actually from a movie, like a silent film.
So here's Megyn Kelly, and I've also got from yesterday.
All right, this is going to annoy me. I'm sorry. I've got to go aside on this. This is aggravating. Hold on. Silent film, child sacrifice, something like that. Yeah, Moloch and Capria, a 1914 silent film. Capria is a 1914 Italian silent film, and it depicts Moloch worship. Silent film, electronic music score, Capria and the legacy of the human sacrifice scene. And then here it is. And then another one called the Temple of Moloch. This is 1914. This will be... Yeah, this was another, like an ancient film. A Red Cross SEAL story. Dun, 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 dun. The Edison Company appears to have been one of the few early film companies displaying an anti-social conscience. In 1912, it released the anti-child labor Children Who Labor in 1913-14, respectively, the Price of Human Lives and the Temple of Moloch. These last two productions were endorsed by the National Association for the Prevention of Tuberculosis, and are a reminder that during the early years of this century, tuberculosis was a major cause of death in the United States, even as late as 1960. The Temple of Moloch, released in November 25th, 1914, demonstrated vividly to the audience of the day why the death rate among the unskilled laborers was 7 times as high as that among professional class. The taboos of the period did not permit any mention of the further high mortality rate among non-whites. For a film so determinedly propagandist, The Temple of Moloch was enthusiastically received. Louis Reeves Harrison of the moving picture world described it as a cheering flash of what stirs the mind and heart and shows that moving pictures could be if they were treated as the expression of something worth expressing. We need effects. It's exciting. The Temple of Moloch, a Red Cross SEAL story by Mary Ryder Mechtold. Produced in cooperation with the National Association for the Study of Tuberculosis and Prevention for Tuberculosis. Harrison Pratt, Chris Pratt's great-grand something other. No, played by Warren Cook. Oh, here's the Pratts sitting at home. Oh my gosh, I'm so privileged and bored. I'm so rich and I have working people who are working for me. I'll kiss you later, dear. Thank you. Are you my daughter or my wife in this? I think, oh, yeah, okay, that's the wife. I'm not kissing the boy. All right. Going off with the maid. All right, maid. In Harrison Pratt's badly ventilated and dusty pottery, the doctor finds the workers easy prey for tuberculosis. This is an anti-fucking tuberculosis movie. The Temple of Moloch is basically an allegory for how workers were served up to the horrors of tuberculosis by unventilated workplaces. Stop coughing there. You, why are you coughing there? I've got a thing in my chest. I don't know. Stop, cough over there. Cough on him. Get out of here. Why are you bothering him? He should go back in there and work. He shouldn't be out here. Look, he's going to cough all over me. He's going to cough all over you. Get him the fuck out of here. I don't care about this. This is ridiculous. The Swanson home. Eric Swanson, a former employee of Harrison Pratt. Carlton King. Miss Swanson, Matilda Barry. Now, I'm making tea. Now, you sit down. We're about to sell you to Moloch. Hold on. Hello, darling. Welcome back in. Have a seat there, Charlie. Oh, hey there. Stop spitting your gunk all over me. Cover your mouth, you fucking asshole. What's wrong with you? Look at that glob of goo on this. You gobbed on the carpet. You gobbed on the table. You could have gobbed on me, you fuckhead. Never mind that I'm about to sit on a baby. Hey, don't drink from the same cup as him. He's full of sputum. Ew, sputum? What are you talking about? I had no idea. The kid's already crippled. Who gives a fuck? What are we trying to save him from? Look, Tidy Tim, try not to kick the baby when you're leaving, will ya? Look, let's open up a window. Clean up that snot. There's boogers all over the place. This guy, don't sweep him towards the baby. Why are you sweeping the snot towards the baby, you dippy bitch? Here, put the kid up here. Hold him up high where the air is clear. Listen to his lungs. Here, have a seat. Remember, recognize anything I'm listening to his lungs. I'm not pervy at all. Oh, allow me to send your baby to the preventorium. No! Don't send him to preventorium. Don't kiss him. You've got tuberculosis too, you dippy shithead. He's the only healthy person in here. All right. Well, if you don't want me to save your kid, I guess we'll wait until someone comes up. Clean up that snot, will you? Clean up that snot over there. There's more snot under there. I just noticed that booger. And keep the windows open. You can smell the snot on the street. It's fucked up. Okay, bye. See you later. Cheers, you sick bastards. Now I gotta go wash myself in Clorox. Close the window. We don't give a shit. I'll just go back to coughing up Hork. An introduction. Hello, ladies. Hello. Hello, this is my friend Carol. She doesn't have to cough at all. Right in here, ladies. If you'd like to go in here, I'd like to lead you to a house of ill repute. That's one. Eloise Pratt becomes interested in Dr. Jordan's work for the preventorium for children from tuberculosis families. Sorry to interrupt you, Doctor. Oh, I brought you some young girls. Yes, thank you, Dr. Epstein. I appreciate that. How did you manage to find them? Well, I saw them on the street and I brought them in. Here's some younger ones in case you prefer them. Check her eyeballs, check her nose and teeth or whatever. That's wonderful. And check her eyeballs and her teeth. There we go. That's wonderful. She's completely healthy. I can tell just by looking in her eyes that there's no infection growing in her lungs. To help the cause, these ladies are here to be nurses. And we're going to hand you a cute outfit, and you can look like, look sickly, like Nurse Black Eyes here. Hello there, Charles. Good to see you, sir. I noticed you got a couple of fillies ready to work in here. Why don't you introduce me to one of them? They're the only girls in town who don't cough up sputum all over the place. Wonderful. The open air school. Now, this is where we sit outside because the air inside places is fucking disgusting. Ladies and gentlemen. Now, we sit these children in here, and they get to play and move around and run around and ring around the rosy, pocket full of posy, ashu, ashu, we all fall down. That's right, that's the song they're singing. It was about tuberculosis and smallpox and the plague and stuff. That song never gets old, ladies and gentlemen. And here's all the little kids that the service didn't work for. A month later, the Swanson baby is too frail to resist tuberculosis. He's dead! You killed your own kid! He won't move. He's sitting there on the floor. Wait, he's in the thing. Get the fuck out of here. What'd I tell you? Oh, he's covered in boogers. You coughed right up on the fucker. This isn't gonna work. All right. Well, he's dead now. Good job, dummies. Way to go. What'd I fucking tell you? You'll get the corpse sick, asshole. Don't cough it up on there. Oh, man. Okay, well, and the window's shut, too. These assholes. And there's boogers on the thing. What could I possibly do? I know. I'll take the dead baby and sacrifice him to Moloch. No. When do we get to the giant Moloch sacrifice? Or is this all an allegory? Oh, I got the rot in the Pratt pottery and my curse is on Harrison Pratt. And, I hate you! Never mind the fact that I got it and didn't listen to the doctor and coughed it up and killed my kid by coughing it up, and I could have kept the fucking windows open and not gobbed all over my kid. Eloise celebrates her 20th birthday. Oh, how wonderful! It's so nice to live in a house that's well ventilated and people aren't coughing sputum on you all the time. Isn't this wonderful? Oh, these flowers smell lovely. It's so nice to have functioning olfactory senses, you know. Best wishes on your 20th birthday. Henry Jordan, MD. I'm not going to show it to you. I'm stuffing it in my bra, which I can't do in a later movie because the board of motion pictures won't allow me to put things into my bosom. That evening. Come on in. Yes. Sit down. This has been a rough day. I saw a dead baby and nobody listens to me. What's the problem? Hello, I'm so glad you're still alive and you've got a much better outfit than last time. I'm enjoying the corset. Is that a business card in your blouse or are you just happy to see me? Hello, old timer. What the fuck are you doing here? Well, I was over at the Pratt house today. These people were mad at me because I coughed and they had a baby and it was... No, he wasn't. What? That couldn't be right. Papa, what are you talking about? Well, I can't just let them die. I know they're poor, but I'm going to take my hat and go. Get out of here, you anti-tuberculosis clown. Papa, you can't kick him out. He doesn't understand the value of tuberculosis for clearing out the poor. I don't like you anymore. And exposure. And bring it. Dr. Jordan claims the conditions the Pratt potteries breed tuberculosis. Alleged unsanitary conditions. How dare he? Called a modern Temple of Moloch. What? How dare they? This is my factory. That's nonsense. No one gets the sputum from my factory. That's my name they're trying to... Well, let me read the funnies. I was almost finished with the... Oh, shit. I'm going to work it on. Look, what they wrote in the newspaper about father. What do you see right here? Well, it's... I told him. That's what I said, and I tried to tell him, how could you have that? Look what they're going to do to me. I'm going to be poor and have to get sputum as well. I'll end up in the sputum factory, and this is all your fault. I'm sorry, Miss Pratt, but the place is a modern Temple of Moloch. Children are fed to disease as they were fed to the ancient god. What? I hate you. I hate you for what you've done to my father in business. Well, it is making people sick, and Eloise is taken ill. Oh dear. I don't feel well at all. I must have gotten sputum on me from the, well, or it could just be rich lady fainting. There's a lot of that these days. Pick her up and take her outside. Put her with the others. There's a pile of the family doctor. All right, look, I don't know what I'm doing any more than you do. Her lungs are affected. You mean infected? No, I mean affected. We don't really know the language right now. What's going to happen? Well, she's going to basically drown in her own lungs. I fear it's tuberculosis, but with fresh air and proper attention, she can probably be cured at home. It probably is carrying a lot of weight. Hello? Yes? Tuberculosis Tattletale Society. Hey, you asshole! What did you tell me about? What do you know about tuberculosis? You seem to help that kid get killed. What should we do? I don't know. Follow modern scientists. Science, your fucking doctor friend. Bring some ivermectin. We'll be fine. Where are you going, Thomas? She's going to pass away. You've done this to yourself. You gave your own daughter's sputum globula. What you gonna do? I don't know what we can do. There is a scientist, his name is Donald Trump, who suggests we stuck a light bulb up her ass and pour bleach in her lungs. Swanson hears that Harrison Pratt is... Oh my God! Look, they know what happened to our child, and now it's happening to everyone else. His daughter's dying. Oh, I'm so happy that his child is dying too. It's so much better when someone else's kid dies, even though it was obviously preventable in my household, and we could have taken the kid to someplace. Both children are affected. And I'm just coming over here to cough on your kids. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha, your children are dying. Ha ha, my child died and your child will die. Ha ha. I'm mad with insanity. Even though, boy, I'm pretty loud for a guy with tuberculosis, as advanced as mine is. I haven't coughed in days. Swanson tells his own story. Don't you believe me? I got it from that place. Now, what are we doing? And then he opens up the door. This is how it happened. I went into the factory. Ugh! And I caught a big face full of tuberculosis dust. Hey, you! Don't you know those are germs? Get the fuck out of here. No, I need to work. I need... No. You got a big dust... No, the spores got in your lungs. Get the fuck out of here or you're fired, buddy. Take your spores and go home, you sick son of a bitch. Don't cough all over my people. And then I went home, and I coughed a bunch, and Edna poured some castor oil and liquor down my throat, and then she caught the same fucking thing, and then I coughed all over her. My daughter nursed your children, and that is the way they caught consumption. Did something be done about it? Of cough. Oh, God. And then, can I come to work? Yes, lovely. Why don't you come in here? What did you care when my daughter died? You didn't care. Asshole, I came to your house and told you not to cough all over. What the fuck is wrong with you? Of course we cared. Why do you think I went over there, dipshit? You could have sent him to the sanatorium so he wouldn't have died, but you're the one who killed your fucking kid. No, don't listen to him. He's poor. I'm just sad. Don't be sad, Father. He's just a poor person. You never have to talk to these people ever again. Oh, and I'm dying. Actually, I'm just kind of a little sleepy. Can I have some pudding? Also, what happened to Charles? He's just been sitting there quiet this whole time. I shall clean up my property and stop the spread of tuberculosis. My hero. After you. Thank you for doing that, sir. Now, is there sputum all over the factory floor? Look, Merry Christmas, and God bless us, everyone. Yes, hang the booger horse by the tree. Yes, this is all the collected snot from my factory. I've made it, we've learned to craft it into small statues to the end of tuberculosis. Here's a letter. Enclosed check is to maintain a visiting nurse and open another fresh air school to safeguard children of tuberculosis. Sincerely, Harrison Pratt. Look at that. He bought his way out of hell by paying. Look, oh, that's wonderful. Now not only do I get to open another sanatorium, but I get a live-in nurse. That means you, darling, get the outfit and the rubber sheets. Okay, so that was the Temple of Moloch. Which is obviously a great film, and I hope we all learned a lot. But we've got to go to the Moloch from Cabiria, which is the real film that we've got to talk about. Where is it? Child sacrifices in the Temple of Moloch. How long is this fucking thing? The legacy of the humans. That's a whole scene about it. Cabiria, 1914. Oh, that's 2 hours. We're not doing that, obviously. So we shall do the Moloch worship scene in the silent film. Here is the film. It's the child sacrifice to Moloch in Cabiria, the 1914 silent film. Open sesame. We've got the baby right here. Everybody got this as a fresh baby. Everybody get your cameras out. Don't miss this. We don't get another shot at this. He's a wonder. And we put him on the little slide, and he just slides out of view there. And there says mom is down there to catch him. And then hooray! And then don't lift the... Hey, he's still holding on. Fuck. All right, well, that's why we have child labor laws show up later. And we're beating up the drums to hide the screams. And all right, and we open up. Look, he's gone. We'll do a second one. And so we just do this over and over again. Is that what? All right, that's the whole thing. That's the entire. There's got to be more to it. Yeah. There's the Temple of the Moloch. In El Templo de Moloch. Okay, so this is the Temple of Malarkey. We found the Biden connection. Invocazione a Moloch. We're going to do an invocation to Moloch. We're going to sing a Moloch hymns to this guy. And we're going to make some bad things happen to the baby. I'm going to tell you this thing. Il pontifice del duezone, t'invoco, respiro del fuoco profondo. There's fire in the belly of the big monster. Genito di te. Well, if you whip it out here, you're going to get in big trouble. Primo nato. Whatever. Okay. Okay, we get it. Yeah, skip to the scene. Okay. And the fires are burning, and we all gather around the Temple of Moloch, and everybody looks conspicuously Jewy, which you shouldn't read into just because this is a movie from the period of time of the First World War, and there was some shit hanging on with there. And then this looks an awful lot like Steve Vai's Alien Love Secrets or whatever album, but don't read too much into that. It's just a silver hand. But basically Moloch is saying, talk it to the hand. Okay, he's saying it, talk it to the hand, and I don't know why I sound like Dr. Guido Sarducci so much right now. And we skip ahead for the Faglio and the Finglio, and we go to the great Temple of the Moloch, which is why we thought of this with a tuberculosis, and why it was a good allegory for tuberculosis, because Moloch sounds a lot like people sputuming. For it did. Hey, we've got a big thing. We're going to throw the babies in the big belly. Okay, and so everybody got their torches? Okay, good. All right, and everybody got this. Everybody, you late fuckers, get in here. Like, this is, with Moloch not going to wait all day, okay? And this is, of course, from the 7 fires of Moloch. Of course, there is 10, but don't worry about that too much. Just in case the other ones go out. Okay, everybody, listen up. Oh, Moloch ever doing? We're going to do the thing. Bring the babies around. Oh, boy, or a girl. Hang on there, everybody settle. Woo! Fantastic. I can't hear you. Who wants a baby sacrifice? Me. I can't hear you. Bring in the baby. I got him. It's not really a baby. It's more of a toddler. If we throw a toddler in the contraption, they'd really get hurt. So we got to use a kid that's a little, throw the boy in the fire thing. Don't notice that you're cutting away so we can replace the real kid we were carrying with a dummy we made. By the way, this outfit is really fucking hot for this environment. I'm just saying, there's a lot of torches and I'm wearing basically a sweater. This is not, and closing the door, and magically, the baby is burned. Everybody hated that little rat. He cried when everybody was trying to sleep. Let's do it again. Kick your legs, you little fart. Kick of the legs. Everybody, here he goes. I know it says baby, but, and I know the kid helps himself up with one arm, because we've done this like 7 times today. But he really is dying. I swear to God, this is not a trick. The kid doesn't slide down into a thing, and his mom takes him, and then you guys think we've killed a baby, and when the fire comes out the top, even though the baby's in the middle, we get it. We do it a bunch of times. I know the kid looks like the same kid over and over, and he kicks exactly the same way, but I don't want you to read anything. The kid I'm going to get is a totally different kid from the one that just went in the Moloch slide. So I don't want anybody to think we're trying to pull something over. These are real kids we're sacrificing. Don't get too excited about this. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for returning. You know, it's our 6th week at the big Hall of Teeth, and where everybody's measured the same way. The Hall of 6 inches. And so we come in here and we worship the elephants because they'll step on us if we don't. And we're afraid of anything. Up, and there goes, promise, totally different kid. It's not, even though he's growing, the kid seems to get bigger every week. And if you yell, Tony, he turns his head. Don't think that has any, this is a totally different kid. I swear to God, it's a totally different kid. And I think they're using the same kid over and over. I don't believe it. Let's go check it out. If we get a bit closer position, maybe we can try to give them another baby. And they'll throw this baby in there, and then we'll know if we're really sacrificing the babies or if they're just recycling babies. Now, look, I believe in being environmentally conscious, but I don't believe in recycled baby. I don't think Moloch would like that. Let's see. We're going to march toward the... What are you guys dancing about? It's the same baby over and over again. There he comes. And we walk around the side, and we come out. Hey, there he is, a whole new baby. Notice nobody's bringing him from the street. Yep, it opens up. And we're all out of babies. Hey, we're done with the sacrifice. Congratulations. Excellent. And by the way, we'll be on tour next year with our new album. We've been Slayer. You've been Northern Egypt, basically. Good night. I got to tell you, like, concerts were the shit back then. There we go. Let's see a close up. That's a little that's a little girl. We think. We don't know. He's kicking feet. Might be just a boy. Hey, give me that kid, you dick. That kid's tired of it. He's been. Hey, give me that. Trust the black guy to try and save the baby from our big fake sacrifice. What the hell? And that's the big Moloch. I feel like we've all learned so much. This is basically we've cracked it open here. We've all learned a valuable lesson about Italian cinema and allegory for tuberculosis, which, by the way, Alex Jones probably takes personally because he sounds like he has tuberculosis. And during, back in that time, they would have rounded him up and put him in a sanatorium anyways. Oh, thank you for the super chat.
Bill Maher, so let's try to grab that. Saying he doesn't believe it, it's crazy.
I think he does believe it's crazy. He doesn't believe it's crazy. It's important, the syntax.
It's in the Roman histories. It's in the Greek histories.
Yeah, as societies that they wiped out.
It's in the Carthaginian histories now that they've dug them up. It is in the Jewish histories, okay?
Yeah, but they're talking about the same people.
And what Plato wrote about is in the Old Testament. The exact same thing.
Yeah, there was a lot of cribbing back then.
Okay.
They took anything that was written on a stone tablet. They're like, okay, that's rock solid. But anything on paper is anybody's guess.
So this is a fact.
No, it's not.
Just like you can go and get a tour at Chichen Itza, and they'll have people with degrees from Mexico City, archaeology.
Oh, the appeal to authority. How quaint.
And they will sit there and explain it to you, and they're all mostly Hispanic. And I've gotten tours down there.
Mostly?
At least 6-7 times Chichen Itza alone. I've been to many other temples. So fascinating. And
yeah, so you just go to the site of human sacrifice a lot, do you? Do you miss it if you've been away too long?
It's like, yeah, they lie, the liberals in the U.S., and say they didn't sacrifice children.
Nobody says that.
And women and everybody, of course they...
That's the whole everybody thing. Of course, in everybody would include women and children. Yeah, the Mayans and the Aztecs, that was part of their society. A lot of Bronze Age and primitive tribes did shit like that. Yeah, it is 2026 though. So you've yet to explain to me why Podesta is apparently the natural heir to the Aztec ritual. I don't know, rod, whatever the scepter of the Mayans.
Did. The Aztecs basically exhausted their population. They killed the majority of the people by the end, and then.
Yeah, again, another sign that maybe this kind of behavior doesn't actually pay off in the long run. I wouldn't like you go, hey, what society should we take after where we can really attain power and control over the masses? Let's crib the plans from people that were completely wiped out by themselves.
That's why Cortez, like 240 men, took over Mexico City.
Well, yeah, that and syphilis and smallpox and other diseases these people didn't have natural immunity to, and vice versa, too. You could argue that the Black Plague was sort of, for all talk of Montezuma's revenge. Sorry, I've obviously... sorry, it's sputum I got from that last video. I'm okay, though.
Because the best and the strongest...
Hold on. The best and the strongest?
Is what the gods demanded. Mesoamericans...
Yeah, primitive societies often killed their weakest members. And that's not good. It's also what arguably Musk and his buddies, who you like, are calling for.
Dig up their skeletons from 15, 20,000 years ago. They're...
Yes, we've learned no lessons as humans in 15 to 20,000 years, apparently.
6 foot tall, the men, many of them, on average, almost 6 feet tall. Why do you think the folks in Central and South America, the natives, from the native stock that aren't mainly Spaniard, why do you think the men are like 5'2" and the women are like 4.5 feet tall?
Because they come from the Asian side of the equation. And by the time that those genetic lines had worked their way to the Americas, they had shrunk in stature due to caloric availability and a myriad of other environmental factors that did not favor being tall over millennia.
It's because if you were tall, and if you had blue eyes, you were completely, or albino, you were just dead. Same thing in Africa. If you're an albino, they're killing you, they're eating you in most areas. Because
they're not eating you. They'll kill you, though. I mean, it's a witchcraft thing, but that's not, again, tie this to fucking Hillary Clinton allegedly having Parkinson's.
Seen as magic. It's the same crap all over the place, over and over again, okay?
Yes, your show is the same crap over and over again. On this we agree.
Human history. This is what brings down civilization.
No, it doesn't. I mean, this might be, but no, most societies don't baby eat themselves out of existence. Most of them, by the way, have never ended. They just transmute into a more functional system. The tribes and the systems die out as an identifier because they no longer serve the people. Hence, the Aztecs fucking eating their own. It didn't eliminate all the peoples in South America, certainly. It just, that system died out. The people themselves turned into other tribes, genetically bonded with other people, because that system failed. That society didn't die and everyone with it just like wilted like the fucking Skeksis and the, and what was it, the Guardians or whatever in the Dark Crystal, where one dies and everybody else just collapses.
This is 100% real, like the sun coming up in the morning.
No, it's not. And also back then, they thought the sun coming up in the morning was an active move by the sun as opposed to a static move where the sun was in one position and the earth was turning. So the sun even turning back then meant something different than it means now. The heliocentric model being, fuck me.
And it all continues. It never went away. It just stayed underground.
So God fucked up and just killed a bunch of humans for no good reason. So the great worldwide flood and Jesus coming back was, God missed, is what you're saying.
Okay?
No, not okay. This is just silly.
The whole vampire metaphor is a metaphor for the Satanists.
No, it has to do with a disease called erythropoietic protoporphyria, which was a combination of like hemophilia from inbreeding in Romanian and like Slovak, wealthy families and royals that led to this kind of bizarre medical idea that if you bled, you could drink blood to replenish the blood that you had lost, and that resulted in these like rich, like decaying kids, young people whose hemophilia and had to be protected, and their skin would crack in the sunlight. That's the erythropoietic part of it. They had to be kept indoors, out of sunlight. They were very pale. It was believed that they drank blood because that was the storyline of how you replenish blood that you lost in that mass quantity back then. So it comes out of this Romanian royalty inbreeding shit. That's where the vampire mythology comes from. 100%. That's why it's not ubiquitous in the same way everywhere. It's specific to, that's why Transylvania, dum-dum.
And if you want to know who our leaders are, they are devil-worshipping vampires, okay?
Okay, so that's what he's saying is that Donald Trump, I think we can settle it on that. According to Alex Jones, Donald Trump, and obviously J.D. Vance, and any of the SCOTUS and John Thune and Mike Johnson are devil-worshipping vampire baby eaters. I didn't say it. Alex said it. And I mean, who are we to argue with somebody with a level of acid reflux that could have killed the dinosaurs? And on that note, I'm gonna tonight's song is dedicated to Alex. I think he's earned it more than almost any other human on the planet. Because again, if anything he said was true about this ruling elite, they'd have killed him a long time ago. Or maybe they just are incapable of pulling it off, in which case, why would we be afraid of it? Or he works for them. Oh yeah, I went there. Hit the like, share the show. Thank you guys so much.